All right, y'all. Hit the like button, follow, subscribe, enjoy the podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Shooting Park Podcast. We had a lot of events this past weekend. We had the first first leg of the PGA playoff, Fedex Cup playoffs. LPGA picked back up after the Olympics, and then Liv also picked back up for first tournament in a while. And then this upcoming weekend, we do have a major event for the women's. So we have the Women's Open at St. Andrews, and then we also have obviously second tournament for the PGA FedEx Cup playoffs. So let's jump right into it. PGA FedEx St. Jude Championship, TPC Southwinds, Memphis, Tennessee. Beautiful course, by the way. Nick Dunlap, Sam Burns, both at minus 13, tied for fifth. Scotty Scheffler, minus 14 in fourth. Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, minus 15, tied for second. And then Hideki Matsuyama at minus 17 takes the win. Super impressive by Hideki. He backs up that bronze medal with a win in the first playoff event of the year this year. So he jumps up the FedEx Cup points or standings also. So big for him. Definitely has an opportunity there to make a run at it again this weekend. Just going to be all dependent on whether or not he can keep that fine form. But 2 weeks in a row, he's had played some great golf. Xander bounced back after that rough end to the Olympics, so he bounced back, was able to come into second here. Scotty had another solid showing. First playoff event, I think he's still like 15. It's like 1,500 points up on everyone else. So he's still in the lead right now, but obviously all the points are, I believe, times 4. So yeah, like there's an opportunity out there for these guys to jump up there. And speaking of that, Victor Hovland, Nick Dunlap made huge jumps up the board. Dunlap squeezing into the BMW field with his 69 on Sunday was huge for him. I think he's ranked like 46th or 48th now. Like he just squeezed in to the BMW field there. So obviously, all these points matter. So it's going to be huge watching these guys. It's awesome to see Nick Dunlap also just making that big of a jump. It was played a great tournament, well deserved to be able to get into this second round here. And then Max Reiserman, he also shot a 63 on the final round to earn himself a spot in the second playoff event too. So a lot of great golf going around. Someone who didn't play great, but is still in that second round of the playoffs, Rory McIlroy, played awful, but he did make it into the second round still because of how many points he had in the FedEx Cup standings. So he wasn't going to get kicked out that quickly. But we'll have to see how he does this weekend, see if he can earn himself a spot into the final round there. So on to LPGA. You had the ISPS Honda Women's Scottish Open, Dundonald Links, Ayrshire, Scotland, somewhere out in Scotland. Charlie Hull, -8 in fifth. Megan Kang, Ayaka Faru, both at -9 in tied for third. Esther Henselit, -11 in second, and Lauren Coughlin takes the win at -15. Lauren Coughlin played well all week, 369s, and then she had a 66 in the third round to give herself the 4-stroke win at this tournament. So she played awesome. And then Esther followed up her strong showing at the Olympics with a second place finish here. With her, she had a 70, 71, 66, and 70 throughout the tournament. So it seemed like the third round was pretty much the best round for quite a few of these players. So they all played well, though. Decent showing for them. Obviously, coming off of the Olympics, there's a lot of excitement and whatnot going on. So staying over there, and then they're also going into a major tournament this weekend. So it's a lot of excitement for the LPGA moving forward. And again, I mean, this will be a fun weekend to golf here with, the second round of the FedEx Cup playoffs and LPGA having a major. So, other news: Gabriella Ruffles made her way back up the leaderboard, finishing tied for sixth with her one stumble coming in round two, where she shot one over, but recovered with a 69 and then a 68 on the weekend. So she played well. Congrats to her. And then there were a few players. Excuse me. There were a few players that had themselves within striking distance of the top start the final day, but they all stumbled to the finish line. Charlie Hull, Megan Kang, both shooting 1 over and 2 over respectively. So unfortunately for them, they weren't able to make a move up there, which I don't know if they would have caught Lauren Coughlin, because she did play well. She did give herself a pretty good big lead. But, we'll have to wait and see for this weekend. I think, Charlie Hull is going to be someone to look out for at St. Andrews. And then, obviously, if Lauren Coughlin can keep it going, Esther, she's had 2 great tournaments in a row now. So she might be able to keep it going. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But we'll jump into the Live event. So you had Live Greenbrier, the Old White at Greenbrier, North Carolina. I guess I'll go individual and then team. Yeah. So, sorry. Richard Bland, minus 17. Mark Leishman, minus 17. Both tied for 5th. Yeah, tied for 5th. Tied for 4th, technically. Jason Kokorek, minus 18 in 3rd. John Rahm, minus 19 in 2nd. And Brooks Koepka at minus 19 in 1st. Koepka wins on a playoff hole. And then for the teams, you had Range Goats / Torque at minus 36 in 5th. Fireballs at minus 40 in 4th. Legion at minus 42 in 3rd. Ripper minus 50 in 2nd. And Smash at minus 53 in 1st. So Smash sweeped this weekend, obviously with Brooks winning individual and Smash winning the team. Honestly, I wasn't too shocked when Smash won the team event. I think after day one, they had 3 guys in the top 5. Like, absolutely ridiculous. So they had 3 guys in the top 5 after day one. And even at some point during the final day, they had Koepka, Taylor Gooch, and Jason Kokorek all in the top 4. Like, John Rahm was in 1st at that point, and then it was those 3 all tied for 2nd. Like, ridiculous. So they all played well. I don't know who the 4th player is on that team, but the 3 of them played well enough to earn themselves that team title at least. But yeah, Ripper they made a run at it. They took the lead for a half a second on that final day, but Smash was able to come back, run away with it. It was their weekend. Rahm pushed Koepka, obviously, to a playoff hole, but in the end, Koepka was able to hold out for the win. Rahm's tee shot on the playoff hole went into the bunker. Their 18th hole, which is the way that the playoff works, they go to the 18th and replay it. So when they went to the 18th, it was a par 3, and Rahm actually hit it long, ended up in a bunker, and it was a rough bunker shot, but he was able to actually get out and give himself a putt, which was shocking because it was a hard bunker shot in the first place. Made a great out, so he was able to give himself an opportunity there for at least a par. He would have had to have made a hell of a putt, but basically Brooks went ahead. He 2-putted gets himself his par, and then on um, on Rahm's putt, he hits it and lips out, just right there. If he would have made it, it would have been absolutely ridiculous putt to make. So I wasn't too shocked when Brooks was able to walk away with it, but Rahm made a hell of a run at it. So it's good to see Rahm's playing well. Koepka, I think, is the first player to win 5 events on Live too. So he's had a good run of form. It's his second one this year. So he's making his way up the individual leaderboard for them too. But on to the golf news for this past week. So obviously the field is set for Colorado this weekend. Some guys dropping out of the top 50 in FedEx Cup points, and some shooting up with their performances at TPC Southwind this weekend. Obviously, I mentioned, the likes of Victor Hovland, Nick Dunlap, Max Greiserman, all jumping up, making huge jumps up the board. Rory fell down the board a little bit. I think he fell from like second to fourth, though. Like that, the top people in with the FedEx Cup points, they're so far ahead. It's not really, they're not going to fluctuate that much. It's really the ones that are lower. But there's a lot of movement within there, so it was cool to see, a lot of fun. And then back to Hideki. Hideki won. So impressive that he won this event, because for those who don't know, he's probably still going to be without his caddy for this upcoming weekend as well, and his coach. After both of them and himself were all robbed at the London airport en route to the FedEx Cup playoffs. So on their way back from Paris, the Olympics, they all got robbed at a London airport. And during the robbery, Hideki's wallet was stolen. But for his caddy and his coaches, both their wallets and their passports were stolen. So it forced the caddy and the coaches to go back to Japan, try and get expedited passports and all that stuff so that they can make it into America. They weren't able to make it in time, unfortunately, for him. So he had to go with a standing caddy. And obviously, that person did really well for him, helped him out, got through the win. So he's already been through the adversity, won the first leg of the playoffs. So he's going to look to continue his strong play going into Colorado, but great for him, like, to go through that. And again, you lose your caddy, lose your coach for the biggest tournament of the year, probably so far. It's playoffs. So great on him. And again, he played well in Paris. He's now played well at TPC Southwind. I'm not going to be shocked if he plays well again this weekend. He's on a heater. So keep an eye out for him. So it'll be exciting to see. There's a lot of great players that are going to be playing in Colorado. And I think the fun part is, the likes of Victor Hovland. He didn't play great this year. He hasn't been amazing, but he's done enough to get himself into the playoffs. And for some reason, he kicks it into gear every year for the playoffs. So don't be shocked if you see Victor Hovland towards the top of the leaderboards now, compared to earlier this year where he was struggling a little bit. And then, of course, you have Scotty, you have Xander, the likes of Rory McIlroy. Sooner or later, this guy's got to break through. I feel so bad for him. Sooner or later, he's got to break through and win something again. But anyway, one person missing from Colorado will be Jordan Spieth. His PGA future is in question as surgery looms for him. So he kind of fittingly placed second to last at the St. Jude Championship this past weekend, ending his season. So now he's going to face the off-season wrist surgery that'll require at least 3 months of recovery time. He's already said he's not really looking forward or looking towards, forcing his way back very, very quickly. He has nothing to really force his way back to immediately. So he's going to take his time with the recovery. Hopefully he gets fully recovered. But, he's not part of any of the 6 teams for the inaugural season of the TGL, that'll slate to start sometime early January. So sometime in that time frame. And he's also, he's on the PGA Tour board or policy board, which, while also being a husband and father of 2 toddlers, he already had a lot on his plate, plus he's a PGA player. So he has a lot going on. I'm not shocked that he's not going to try and rush back. He's going to take his time. He's going to relax a little bit. But hopefully the wrist surgery is nothing too major. Hopefully he can get through it. he can recover quickly. He was an exciting player when he was younger. It's sad to see that he's fallen off so much. So hopefully all of his performances this year were based on his injury, and hopefully that's not him. Hopefully it's not his swing. Hopefully it didn't jack up his swing completely. I mean, playing through an injury like that, you can jack up your swing, you can mess everything up. So hopefully he didn't create bad habits because of that. I would like to see him back, like to see him playing well again, like to see him top of the leaderboard, here or there. So hopefully he makes it back. I'll be rooting for him, but good luck to him in his surgery. Obviously, he's doing well, trying to help lead the PGA Tour on the policy board and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. But in other news, we have our upcoming events. So as I've mentioned multiple times, PGA BMW Championship, Castle Pines Golf Club, Castle Rock, Colorado. And then you have the LPGA AIG Women's Open, St. Andrews Old Course in Scotland. It is a beautiful course, so I'm super excited to see how the women go ahead and play this. So for the last week, I had Xander Schauffele, Celine Boutier, Bryson DeChambeau, Torque. I thought it was fitting that since the PGA went ahead and I think they times their points by 4, I timed stars by 2, just for the PGA. LPGA and live events, I didn't multiply those points. So for PGA, I went ahead and multiplied them by 2. Make them exciting since, it's the playoffs. So now for the PGA, winner will get 20 points, top 5 will get 10 points, top 10 will get 8 points, top 15 will get 6 points, top 25 will get 4 points, making the cut will get you 2 points. So me, Xander Schauffele, got me 10 points there. Mark had Colin Morikawa. He was a top 25 finish, so he got 4 points there. And then the random actually took Xander Schauffele too, so they got 10 points from that. LPGA, I had Celine Boutier. The Mark had Nasa Yadaoka. Nasa Yadaoka. I think that's right. I don't know. And then the random had Rose Zhang. Rose and Celine actually both tied for 25th. And then NASA was top 15, so 2 points for myself in the random, 3 points for Mark. Live individual, I had DeChambeau. Mark had Tyrell Hatton, and the random had Joaquin Niemann. Again, Bryson and Joaquin actually tied for the same spot. I can't remember if they were 15th or a little bit higher, but either way, they weren't top 10, and they were somewhere within 15 to 10. They were tied, and then Tyrell ended up top 25 finish. And then for the team, I had Torque, Mark had Ripper, and Random had Crushers. So 5 and 5 for Mark and I, and then 4 for the Random. So total points gained were 20 for me, 14 for Mark, 9 for the Random. I'm at 101 for the season. Mark's at 115, and the Random is at 86. So making a little run back up there, trying to catch Mark. So for this weekend, I went ahead and I took Victor Hovland for the PGA and Gabriella Ruffles for the LPGA. Hopefully that does not hurt me, because I feel like every time I've picked her, she's played awful. So hopefully that doesn't hurt me, but I'm banking on her finding her form again. Finally played well again. Finally put 2 good rounds together. Hopefully she can put 4 rounds together this weekend. So I'm banking on Gabriella Ruffles, and then obviously Victor Hovland in the playoffs. It's just Victor Hovland in the playoffs. For whatever reason, this man loves to kick it on for the FedEx Cup playoffs. So I'm excited for him. Mark took Colin Morikawa again. It's a risky pick. And then Esther Henselit, which obviously I've said she's played out of her mind last 2 tournaments, so don't be shocked if she's up there. And then for the random, they wanted to follow my footsteps. They took Victor Hovland because, again, it's Victor Hovland in the playoffs. Not much you need to say. And then for the LPGA, they took Charlie Hull, which Charlie Hull back in her Great Britain. Never know what can happen. But again, a lot of good golf coming up this upcoming weekend. So go ahead, check out the Instagram, TikTok. We still have the 9 holes that are going on. Still posting them every day. So keep an eye out on those. But that's all I got for you guys this week. So we'll see you guys next week.